Greetings, everyone. This video is intended to be an overview of module number 3. And before I get started, I just want to congratulate all of you on surviving your first 2 weeks of the fall 2016 semester. The good news is that the first couple of weeks are the hardest because you are just really navigating the campus and getting settled into all of your classes and balancing your work schedule and all that stuff. So the hard part to the start of the semester is over, and we're going to start settling into routine. And so you already know where to access the weekly modules. Just click on that over on the left, and you've done module number 1, and now you have almost completed, if not already completed, all of module number 2, which means you turned in your very first writing assignment. I hope that you found the videos, Inequality for All, The Line, and A Matter of Place to be very helpful in providing some information and laying a foundation for the social issues that we are going to be exploring this semester. Inequality for All, I think, does a pretty good job of providing some of that broader social context, bringing in the economic factors and some of the political factors and things of that nature that help us to make sense of the struggle that individuals are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. The Line, provides that individual struggle. So there's some families in there that are really struggling economically. They're economically disadvantaged. And so we get to kind of connect with them and see their everyday lives. And then Inequality for All provides some broader context. A Matter of Place, and this happens in Fresno. These two provide some very specific information around housing inequality, discrimination in housing, as well as some inequality in terms of folks who are the most economically disadvantaged, some of the living conditions under which they are currently struggling in and surviving in every day. And so this week, here is our module number 3. And so this week we get into our very first 2 chapters. Chapter 1 in Brown and Keeley's Asking the Right Questions. And chapter 1 is called The Benefit and Manner of Asking the Right Questions. And so this provides an overview of that text and some foundational knowledge. And then we're going to also read chapter 1 in Preparing to Solve Our Social Problems. And that's James Crone's book. And then another article or another piece of reading is you're going to read the very first article in a series of articles that the Fresno Bee did and are continuing to do into an investigation into slum housing in Fresno. You're also going to complete your very first reading journal entry this week, and I'm going to give you some information about that. And you're going to take your first quiz. And then there's also some optional information and resources in this module as well. So let's go ahead and enter in here. And I just want to kind of walk you through a couple of important things about the module. So first and foremost, please make sure that you read all of this information here. It's basically like just a little overview of what to expect that week, as well as why. Why are we reading this material and why is it important? So read over that. And then, as you know, there's the checklist. So these are the components, right? These are the things that you need to do. And if you could literally put a check next to each one of these, then you will have completed the module by next Thursday, by 11:59. So basically do everything in this folder before midnight next Thursday. So I did provide a PDF copy of chapter 1 for both of our readings. And that's because some of you may not have your book yet. So let me give you just a really quick. This is the first text, Asking the Right Questions by Brown and Keeley. And we're going to read in here chapter 1. And so I did provide the PDF of this. And chapter 1 lays a foundation and is really important because it really talks about different ways of consuming information. Something that they're going to talk about in here is the sponge method of consuming information versus the panning for gold. And both of these are important in terms of, accessing and consuming information, but each one of them provides us with a really important set of skills. So whenever we, are confronted with something new, then the sponge method, we just want to absorb a lot of information. And that's really helpful because it's something that's brand new to us. But the panning for gold, that's a more active way of questioning and critically thinking about the information that we come across. So chapter 1 provides a whole overview of the book, as well as, like it says, what is the benefit of asking the right questions, and what is the manner? How do we go about asking the right questions? And that's really like a really important component of critical thinking, is learning what questions and how to ask questions so that you can really decipher, right, as Brown and Keeley talk about here, all of the noise. There's so much access to information that we have, and how do we make sense of it, and how do we become really good critical consumers of the information that we come across. So read chapter 1 there, and then the other text is Crohn's, How Can We Solve Our Social Problems? So this is the cover for the 3rd edition, and this is the cover for the 2nd edition. So since we had a mix-up on the book, you can use either the 2nd or the 3rd edition. There is one new chapter in the 3rd edition, and like I said before, I am going to make that chapter available. I'm going to scan it, and I'm going to upload it and put it in the module folder when the time comes. So this 3rd edition does contain some new statistics, maybe some new current events, but you will be able to do just fine if you already purchased the 2nd edition. All right, so you will be reading chapter 1, Preparing to Solve Our Social Problems. And so Crohn's going to provide, a definition. Well, what is a social problem as compared to, just an individual problem? He's going to provide some history on, various sociologists and different ways that people have studied social problems in the United States in the past. He's going to provide some really important, helpful information in terms of how sociologists, even as sociologists, we have different views on the role of sociology and the role that a sociologist should play in analyzing and understanding as well as solving our social problems. And he's going to provide some information about that. How do we decide which social problems we should solve first? And then very important in this particular chapter is theory. And so how can we use sociological theory in order to make sense of and also to solve our social problems? And so that's what this section is going to outline. He's going to go through some various theories, and I'm not going to go into all of those, but read over this chapter, and it's really laying a really solid foundation for understanding what social problems are, what is the role of sociology in understanding and solving social problems, and how can theory help us make sense of and also address social problems. And then the other reading, like I said before, is this very first article in this series that the Fresno Bee is putting out on housing blight, or the crisis of our slum housing in Fresno. So you'll just click on the link right here, and it's going to redirect you once you click on it. It's going to redirect you to the article, and then you just, read that first article. Or if you, do a Google search, just click on this title right here. There are a lot of different series. See, these are all of the different articles, and I only want you to read the first one for this week. So then, after you read those first 3 readings, then there are 2 optional PowerPoints. So this is an optional PowerPoint for asking the right questions for Chapter 1, and this is an optional PowerPoint for providing an overview of social problems. And this one is kind of lengthy, but I just wanted to provide, some information about various sociologists and the theories. And so if you do the readings, that would be sufficient, but these are some optional resources. One other optional resource that I just wanted to highlight is this Theory and Social Problems handout. And I think this is helpful for the application of the content. And so let me just show you. This is what that handout looks like. This is totally optional, but what I did here is I provided the definition of social problem, and then how can theory help us make sense of our social world? That's what this activity is intended to help you kind of grapple with, the application of theory. So in the first column, here is the list of the sociological theories that are presented in Crohn's text. And then here's the definition from the text. And then what you should do, print this out if you want to. And what you want to do is come up, what is one of the examples that Crohn uses in the text to help us make sense of conflict theory and social change? And then how do you apply that? How can you take that theory and that example that Crohn provides to you, and how can you apply it to that article on slum housing, or the videos maybe that you watched in Inequality for All, or A Matter of Place? How can you use one of those examples to try to connect that theory with that particular social problem? And just kind of write it out right here. And so that is just, there's all the different theories. That's just a handout for you to help you, take the information from the text and pull it out and figure out, how do I apply this? And then let's see, the other thing is, here's where you access the quiz. You'll notice that it's not highlighted right now, and that's because I want you to read over all of those first 2 chapters in the article before you take the quiz. So this is going to become available on Tuesday, and then it's 15 questions. This is actually a mistake. I'm going to fix this. You have 30 minutes to complete the quiz. It's all multiple choice, true, false. That should give you plenty of time. So the last thing I want to go over is the reading journal. And I did provide, let's see. So under the assignments tab, if you click on that, here is some information about the guidelines for the weekly reading journal. So if you click on this document right here, it's going to open up and it's going to give you an overview of the reading journal. And because the reading journal is, an important assignment that we're going to be doing all semester, I'm actually going to make one separate video on just the reading journal so that I could go over this 3-part, 3 parts of it, as well as this sample. But I just wanted to show you that here is where you're going to go, right? Click on assignments, and then here's where you go to access the guidelines. And then after you know what you're going to be writing about and you're ready to do your reading journal, then you're going to click on reading journal, and this is where you go to post your reading journals every week. So click on the reading journal, and here you have the instructions are also listed right here, and then you're going to click on create journal, and this is where you're going to go. You're going to put in the title. This is let's see, week number 1, first journal entry. And then you're going to type in your message, you're going to type in or cut and paste your journal entry right here. And like I said, I'm going to create a video just on the reading journal because this is such an important part of what we're going to be doing this semester that I want to make sure you have enough information about that. So that is an overview of our week number 3 module. If you have any questions, make sure that you post those over to our Facebook group page. And everyone's been doing a really great job of answering each other's questions. And I'm also going on there and kind of chiming in where needed. So hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.